Breakfast with Cobb Colvin.
Trickstar Radio.
Right, we're in the building, 48 minutes past 8 here, Trickstar Radio. We're in the building with Constrict. How are you doing this morning, sir?
Yes, I'm very well. I'm feeling it.
So lively. I love it.
Yeah, I know. I guess I am a morning person.
Maybe this has turned you into a morning person. Maybe that's what it is.
It must be.
So we've been looking through the EP. Looking through it's out today, which I'm very excited to have. Thank you for sharing it with us.
No, it's all right. It's been timed perfectly, so yeah,
it's fabulous. Amazing stuff.
Yeah.
We just heard the Coherent remix of Paradise, and obviously they make seemingly quite a specific, not a specific sound, but you said they've kind of tailored their sound towards the EP specifically. They've put like a nice spin on what you've done, and they've kind of kept you in mind whilst doing it. And I think this kind of opens up the conversation which I want to talk about, which is obviously there are so many different areas of D&B now, and obviously me being quite an outsider to outsider to the genre. I'm not scared to admit that. Definitely, it's like this whole behemoth over here, and I'm sort of like like a little bit scared of like not. I don't want to, the thing of it is I don't want to dive into it and then get something obvious wrong, and then lose all credibility. You know what I mean? So how many subgenres of D&B exist in your eyes?
It's an endless rabbit hole. But I guess like the because it's annoying because with labels like Critical you can divide them loads of times again, but there's basically in my eyes there's liquid, jump up, jungle, neurofunk, I think, and just like maybe you'd call it tech, like the minimal stuff. Right. And I guess everything kind of...
Where does Rollers go?
I don't think it's a subgenre. I don't know, because you can get like a roller under any of those categories. Still can be. It can be. It's like a...
So a roller's like an ancillary.
Yeah, it's like a filter that you view things through. Like, I don't know. So,
It's like... Again, to use the cooking analogy, it's like Michelin stars and knives and forks. So you can have like... it's a different... That's all I ever hear now. Rollers. That's all I ever hear.
I'm tired of it as well. Don't worry.
So, like, how would you define your sound then? Where would you put yourself?
At the moment, so with this EP, I think it kind of goes between. It's more liquid based, but then it does have that sort of techie minimal side with the HPPD. And with the way the drums are on Paradise, that's sort of jungly in a way. So it's a kind of amalgamation, I think. I kind of really struggle to stay in one place thematically for too long. Anyway, like the stuff I'm kind of making at the moment is definitely more inspired by jungle, 90s sound, sort of more like lo-fi stuff. Labels like Rupture, Skeleton, Repertoire, people like Chris in Perspective. Basically, like a lot of people who are going to be at the Clash Mouth label market this Saturday, so that's like a good place to look for good drum and bass.
Nice. So it definitely feels like you're very comfortable moving around by the sound of things. It's like it's not a thing of I don't want to. No, I should go over there. It's like I want to try it. I'm going to go and try it. So obviously from an outsider looking in again, it looks like D&B has such like a tight knit fan base. Like, how do you find drum and bass in Brighton?
So drum and bass in Brighton's an interesting one because I feel like having been I lived in Bristol for 3 years, and the scene there is a lot more, because there's a lot more of it, like, which is obviously there's loads in Brighton, but there's people taking a few more risks in terms of the artists they're booking. There was this night called Abstractions in Bristol that was just amazing. The sort of drum and bass they played there was all very progressive, almost it had infusions of techno and things like that, and they were quite popular nights, and then I moved to Brighton kind of hoping for things like that. And we do have like Brighton Loves Jungle here, which is cool, like, again, for the more like jungly sound. But generally the bookings here, I guess it depends what you're looking for. But there is a lot of your sort of your liquid and your sort of bigger sort of main artists, and they do hospitality here and stuff like that. But personally, I am feeling just like a lack of more experimental drum and bass. But hopefully wanting to bridge the gap with that at some point in the next couple of years myself anyway, so we'll see. I
mean, events obviously are always quite a risky scenario, and I think it, more than anything, I think it actually boils down to like the people that are here a lot of the time. And I feel obviously students, it's very heavily dependent on the students. So it depends on what students are coming here. Are students coming to Brighton that are keen on listening to experimental stuff, or are the students that are coming here more interested in just listening to your kind of more pop level headliners.
Yeah, that's it.
So it's because obviously as a promoter, there's no point in booking an experimental artist, paying a decent amount for them if you know for a fact that no one's going to turn up. So it's obviously it's like balancing the scales of like what you can and can't do. It's something I steer so clear of event wise. I can't deal with the stress of it.
Me neither, man. Like I'd love to bring down like loads of people from London. Like there's like Different Music label that I'm going to be doing some work with next year. People like that, like who are just bringing all these crazy influences into drum and bass, like, you know, grime and ambient and all these things that, you know, these kinds of music that, because I feel like the issue of drum and bass at the moment is generally that people who grew up on drum and bass and then go on to make it are just inspired by drum and bass, and they maybe aren't listening to outside influences. So yeah, I think what I want to see is more people being a little more creative, but then it's different swings.
That's part and parcel of the event.
That's it. Yeah, that's it.
So we've run out of time. It's absolutely flown by this morning. I've got to say, I could sit and talk for hours, man.
Yeah, it's been lovely.
The EP is out now.
It is.
The EP is out now. Where can people go and get it?
They can get it if they want to support me and Context Audio. The most direct way, then go over to the Context Audio Bandcamp. But the distribution's been through. It's been good, so it's going to be Spotify, iTunes, everywhere. It's been premiered on Drum Bass Arena, on Skank and Bass. They're doing a premiere for it tomorrow. Data Transmission, who are Brighton based, they've done some premieres for it. Yeah, so it's basically just Google Constrict Paradise EP and just watch it unfold.
And we'll see that. We're going to finish up with the free download that you put alongside it. This one,
Passion, nice one.
This one is Passion. It's been an absolute pleasure. Where can people get at you on the socials?
They can get at me at just my handle is Constrict DNB. Just put that at the end of Instagram, Facebook, or SoundCloud, and
we'll see you there. Right then, we're going to finish up with this one. It's just gone 5 to 9 here on Trickstar Radio. We've had Constrict in the building. It's been an absolute pleasure. Don't go anywhere. We are live on Trickstar Radio.
Yeah.
Waking up Brighton.
Breakfast with Cobb Colville.